All praise, honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahoshai, Bahashem, Nakakadash, Eda Bohana to the elder, Apostle of the Trinity, well. A peace, blessing, and salutation to you, Akiamua, pushing these truths to the four winds of the heaven, and being on the forefront of this spiritual, to make sure Jerusalem is established as a praise again here on yes. I have a collection of news from RT America. Basically, in this session, they are going into all of the current events which are happening, especially the coronavirus, and they are giving you a breakdown on how the coronavirus it basically cut the supply chain, man. And they went into how China was the center of that chain of supply, man. Even when you go back to ancient time and you read about King Solomon, man, as a magnificent king of Israel, man, who regained over the whole world, man. If you're going to look how he established or he got his wealth, it's all about a chain of supply, man. You see, so it is very important to understand the relationship between chain of supply and the booming economy. In order to have a good economy, you need to have a chain of supply. You need to have consumers, man, people who consume the thing you are producing, or you are getting from another country. And you need interaction between people, going all the way from King Solomon up to the rulership of the so-called Mongolian, the establishment of the so-called Mongolian Empire. If you go to that history, the Mongolian Empire, they occupied the Middle East. You see, before the establishment of the Caliphate, and you call them the Umayyadi, the Islamic Caliphate, man. See, you have what we call the chain of supply, and that's what the Silk Road was all about, man. The chain of supply. And here you have a virus which was designed, Isa was very crafty, man. That is really Yahweh Bahashem Yahoshai. So you even you brothers, man, it doesn't matter if the coronavirus is a scare tactic or whatever, or it does not reach the number of people who die with pressure in America or diabetes. It doesn't really matter, man. You see, it doesn't really matter, man. You see, here is the traffic, man. The Lord was aiming the traffic of America, man, because that's what America got his wealth, man. Going back to the scriptures, so he put a scare tactic right there, man. You see, so he cut that chain of supply, man. No goods coming, no goods leaving from America, no consumers, man. And he hit the center of that chain supply, and that is the Chinese people. Remember, the Chinese people have a large population for a reason, man, and that is a Lord again, man. It's all you have about Hashem Yahoshai playing chess, you see. And for you to be able to understand this game of chess, man, first and foremost, you need to learn under the elder and apostle of the Trinity, man. The men in which our Lord bestowed wisdom, man. You see, you see, going back to Moab being our washing pot, and the Moab, his population is large for a reason, man. You see, everything which happens in this years, man, it is all geared into to bring about the hate of this creation, and the hate of this creation is the coming of our Lord Yahoshai, man, with his angels. That is the hate, or the highest magnitude of this creation, man. the perfection of creation, and that is the manifestation of the sons of God. Because in order for the sons of God to be manifested, you see, Yahawashai needed to be revealed, man, and that's why we call it the head of creation. You see, that's why Moab they have a large population, man. And after Moab having a large population, the Lord gave him a little technology, and he stood on the center of this new Silk Road. You see, in order to understand the future, we need to go back and study about the past, man. Go and study about the Silk Road, man. You see, and how the Mongolian, starting with their leader, their emperor known as Genghis Khan, man. See how he established the Silk Road. He linked the Roman and Middle East, man, and the Far East. Go back to King Solomon, man. For any empire to collapse, man, the Lord just cut the chain of supply. That's it. Go back to the siege of Jerusalem. That was the largest quarantine I have ever seen in my life, man. The whole city of Jerusalem was put into quarantine. For you people who think quarantines, it is a new thing, man. Think again. So the chain of supply from Jerusalem was cut by the Roman, man. Remember, the Roman compassed the city of Jerusalem, man. Going back to the chain of supply, that's where you get this coronavirus. And here, this news tell you it is official. We are in a global recession. This global recession was, you see, was supposed to happen at the end of this year. Really, it is last year, the end of last year, man. But Esau, through his witchcraft, I did a lesson about this stimulus, Esau, quantitative easing 1, quantitative easing 2, quantitative easing 3, pumping this money. Esau calls them stimulus, man. He has the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter. You see, all of those were magician, man, trying to play magic with Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. But the Lord put in the so-called coronavirus, man. You see, it doesn't matter if it is a hoax, man. You see, look, you may say that people are recovering from the coronavirus, but what you don't know, the coronavirus was not aimed to be a plague, let's say, to last long, man. The coronavirus, its main reason was to hit the supply chain, man. You see, going back to the Silk Road, man, the bubonic plague. You see, the bubonic plague, man. The bubonic plague hit during that time, and the Mongolian Empire fell down. You see, at that time, the Caliphate rose in power. That's where you get the Ottoman Empire. Its capital city was Istanbul. You see, and at that time, that was the end of Jake, man. Remember the Byzantine Empire. When the Ottoman Empire rose in power, they conquered Constantinople, man. But it all started with the plague, the Black Death. So the Black Death, they hit the supply chain, man. Going back to the Mongolian Empire, the Silk Road. You see, that was the fall of Jake, man. That's why they called it the Black Death, bubonic plague. Now the Lord Salak, the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, he brought in a plague to hit strategic point on Esau's supply chain, the new Silk Road. You see, the new Silk Road. You see, so they can recover from the coronavirus, but the Silk Road have been destroyed, man. You see. You see? You see? So that's it, man. Because Babylon got her rich through trafficking. That's why you get things like embargo and sanction. That's why we tell you embargo and sanction are not the mark of the beast, man. those are known as trafficking, which enabled America to get where it is. And when you look the map of America, man, as the scripture tell you, he seat over many waters, man. From waters, what you get is a navy, man. When you go back in history, you have the navy of Hiram Abiff during the time of King Solomon. So these devils, they really studied history, man, and they said, let us come and build an empire known as America, man, and let us control the trafficking. You have something we call maritime activities, man, in the navy. Yesterday I was watching a movie, man, how the American army commands the ocean, how they command the sea. You see, really, man, if you don't understand, Esau is the master of this world, man, and the only one who can take down Esau is Yahweh Hashem Yahweh, man, not Moab, not the Russian, man, the Lord, man. And there is a quote which say all great civilizations, they follow from within, not outside. Then an invasion from outside happened. You see? So they studied about the ancient kingdoms, man, how they get their riches, man, and they established the America strategically. And remember, it started as a 13 colony, man. Strategically, America was not designed to be a country where you can achieve your dream. America was not designed to be a country where you can get your oxygen. They call it American oxygen. No, America was established to be a graveyard, a cemetery, a huge cemetery, man. And on the other side, America was established to be the harm of the earth, man, not a country, a corporation. So let's go and listen a little bit, then I'll quote scriptures, and then we're out of here.
Is the news with Rick Sanchez.
And hello again, everybody. I'm Rick Sanchez. Tonight, Bank of America's economists are making it official. We are in a recession. Here is the quote. It reads as such: we are officially declaring that the economy has fallen into a recession, joining the rest of the world, and it is a deep plunge. Jobs will be lost, wealth will be destroyed, and confidence will be depressed. Two things. Most of the economists that we have spoken with over the past year, and many of the indicators that we have shown, very well predicted that we would have a recession by the end of this year, with or without the coronavirus. It's important for you to know that. Obviously, the virus has both hastened it and likely...
You see, the virus have hastened a recession, man. How? By hitting strategic point in this new Silk Road. See, you need to understand, every empire have what we call Silk Road. They are not called Silk Road, but we call chain of supply.
Intensified it. The other point to be made on this topic is that we should guard ourselves against predictions from banks like BOA, who will most likely use this as opportunity to try to get more of our tax-funded bailout money. Case in point, listen to what else Bank of America said in this very same statement. Look at this. When it comes to the policy response, there should be no upper bound for the size of the stimulus in our view. Translation: keep printing money, because we are too big to fail. Staying with what is...
So what is happening really is America...
This is a chart of the 2008 financial...
Let me see. I went to another news. Nevertheless, let me explain it to you. Let me explain it to you. So let me explain to you. What is happening is, first, when America was established, they established their Silk Road or chain of supply. But when this eastern country started to rise, especially China took that chain of supply slowly from the American. And as the scripture tell you, this fellow or these fellows from America or the Babylonian are very stout, man. They are very proud. They shout that China can't do shit to us, man. Those gook can't do shit to us. We are more intelligent than them, man. That is being stout and stubborn. At the end of the day, what happened? China took over that Silk Road. What America they are doing is they are running out of wheat. They are trying to print more money, man, to stay afloat. It's like you are about to drown, man, and you are using the last straw to stay afloat, man, and that is printing money, man. So this system is gone, man. This new Silk Road is gone, man.
Fear and uncertainty continues to prevail. There are still not enough tests, not enough testing locations, not enough awareness as to what exactly we should do if we feel ill, for example. The White House says it hopes to provide more testing facilities, including drive-through facilities, but even those drive-through facilities say they can't start until they get the tests, the kits, to be able to test people. And if you listen to this, if you go to the CDC website like we did, check this out. This is the CD website. Here's the instructions that they're offering Americans. Stay home. Virus, that's an important question. And what's Dennis Miller's take on the coronavirus? You're going to hear it for yourself. Let's begin with the very latest on the virus itself. Italy continues reporting a record number of deaths. In fact, the big news is they've just overtaken China. Spain also reporting a spike today.
You see, every country which is mentioned here is very strategic when it comes to the American economy. That is the new Silk Road. You see?
In its death toll, Iran now confirming that it too is having a real tough time coping with the spread and the death toll. China, meanwhile, reporting that its numbers are finally going in the other direction. In fact, today it is reporting no new cases. No new cases in China today, thus far, by the way. We will keep our fingers crossed. As for the United States, yesterday, for us here living in the good old USA, worst day yet. Worst day yet, with more than 2,300 cases reported. And folks, this is just between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. 2,300 between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. As we do every day, let's get over to the Global Coronavirus Update Desk so Michelle can bring us up to date on the very latest information as it's coming in. Michelle, start us off. What do you got?
Rick, before I get to anything else, the Trump administration announced today that the FDA will begin investigating whether an existing drug for malaria can also be used to treat COVID-19.
So I think this is enough. Let's go to the scriptures. So this is a book of Ezekiel 28:5. Let's see. Let's start at verse 3. It says, "Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee." So this devil, before establishing America, the first thing which they did is they established the so-called Silk Road. That's what you have, what we call the triangular slave trade. The triangular slave trade, we see about that. With thy wisdom and with thy understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches, has gotten gold, silver into thy treasures, man. Why is the Lord say Esau is wiser than Daniel, man? Because he went into this ancient document and he studied how to establish chain of supply, how to set an empire strategically, how to command the navy, how to set his maritime activities and things like that. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic. See? What is that, man? Dealing with different ships, dealing with this different airline. Now you see all of the ships, man, are not bringing anything. All of the airline have been stopped. No traveling, man. No traveling from Europe to America. That is a Silk Road, man. And this started really during slavery, before America was established. That's why I am telling you, the establishment of America, that was a pre-planned plan, man. America, that is a strategic location, man. And really, this is a road. You see, by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy reach, and thy heart is lifted up because of thy reach. Therefore, thus says the Lord Yahweh, power, because thou hast set thy heart as the heart of God. Behold, therefore, I will bring strange upon thee, the terrible of the nations, man. First of all, how did America start to fall, man? The emergence of China, man. That's why I told you, China, they took control of that Silk Road, man. They started with Africa, Middle East, then it was Latin America. That's where you get is a triangular slave trade. Remember that. You see? And they shall draw their sword against thee, against the beauty of thy wisdom. You see? What is the beauty of Esau's wisdom? His financial system, his military, his navy, you see, his education and the technology. They shall defile thy brightness. What is the meaning of brightness, man? His IQ. He tell you he has the highest IQ, man. But the Chinese, they defiled his IQ by using what we call the hive mind, man. See? They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the death of them that are slain in the midst of the sea. Who will thou yet say before him that says, I am God? You see, America is sinking to the bottom, but they are saying, we can turn this around, man. We can turn the economy around, man. We have quantitative easing, 5 coming on the way. We will inject $75 billion into the market every single day, man. That is saying, that is coinciding with Ezekiel 28:9. Will thou yet say before him that is lazy, I am God? That's what the Americans are saying, man. But thou shalt be a man and no God in the hand of him that slays thee. Who? Thou shalt die the death of the uncircumcised by the hand of stranger, for I have spoken it, says the Lord Yahweh. You see? So from there, let's continue, man. Let's continue with the traffic, man. Let's continue. See, with the traffic, man. We came back to the you see, to the same page. So let's go to Revelation, man, and let's see again, man. Let's see Revelation. Let me see. This is Revelation 18, starting at verse 7. How much she has glorified herself and lived delicious, because of all the abundance, all the riches he got through establishing the new Silk Road. So much torment and sorrow give her, for she says in her heart, I sit a queen and am not a widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plague come in one day. That's what happened, man. Esau South, he can turn around the Chinese, he can turn around everybody here on earth, he can create money out of thin air, man. But what happened, man? Really, Esau, he is wiser than Daniel, but the Lord took him in his own craftiness, man. Esau, he went and studied about the ancient history, man, and he established his empire based on those ancient history. But he forgot that the Lord can bring a plague which will be out of his control, and will cut his chain of supply, and that is the end of him, man. That's the end of him being a queen again, man. That virgin, untouchable. That's the end, man. In the morning and the famine, and he shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord God Yahweh, who judges her. You see, and the king of the earth who have committed fornication lived deliciously with her. Who was this man? Italy, Spain, You see, Portugal, Germany, you name it, man. You see, shall be well heard and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Let's go to verse 11. And the merchant of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buys their merchandise anymore. The merchandise of gold, silver, precious stone, and of pearl, and fine linen, and purple, and silk, and scarlet, and all of thy wood, and all manner of vessel, and all manner of vessel of most precious wood, and of brass and iron, and marble. You see, it continues to mention. You see, and the fruit that thy soul lasted after I departed from thee. So America, he went all over the world setting what you call embassies, man. So he lasted over other people's land, man. You see, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchant of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for her fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. You see, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet, decked with gold and precious stone and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches come to naught, and every shipmaster and all thy company of in ships. That's why we say Babylon is a country, man. Because here in Revelation 18 and 17 and on Ezekiel 28, you see what we call trafficking. This is not talking about the Roman Catholicism, man. Roman Catholicism, they don't own any maritime activities. And if you don't know about maritime activity, go and Google that thing, man. This is not time to play, man. You simple as Jake who try to be teachers, but you don't know what you're talking, man. Traffic go to that way, the maritime activity. You command the sea. You have navies, you have ship which bring you goods. Case in point is the Titanic, man. The Titanic, that was those were elite going to establish what you call the Federal Reserve today, man. You see, those are traffickers, man. Yeah. Let's go to Canada. Who controls the maritime activity of Canada? When a ship wants to leave, who controls that, man? The Queen of England, man. You see? So Babylon is a country, man. Let me repeat. For in 1 hour so great riches come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ship and sailor, and as many as trade by the sea, stood afar off, man. This is a new Silk Road, man. In order for you to have the Silk Road, you need to have the master of that Silk Road, man. And who is the master of today's Silk Road, man? America. So this was talking about a country known as America, man. You see? You see? So, let's go. Let me show you. Let me show you, man. Let's continue. Let's continue, man. Let's continue, man. You see? So this is Ezekiel 12 and 3. In that day when the keep of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinder cease. Who are the grinder, man? And those truck drivers, man. Those who work at the Walmart. Those who bring different ship to bring goods, man. Because America now is a consumer country, man. They went from production to consumers, man. That's where China took you down, man. Because they are far. They are few, and those that look out of the window be darkened, man. What is happening, man? You are witnessing the fulfillment of his Ecclesiastes. This is Ecclesiastes 12 and 3. You see, I was reading Ecclesiastes 12 and 3, man. You are seeing or witnessing the fulfillment of it, man. The grind are ceasing. They are few in the street. Everybody is looking on the window to see if there is a person passing, man. So this scripture will be fulfilled in magnitude, the way you didn't comprehend, man. When this prophecy really starts unfolding at full speed, you won't even comprehend what is happening in front of your eyes, man. Verse 4, and the door shall be shut in the street. Boom. Already happening. When is the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up as the voice of the bed, and all the dot of the music shall be brought low. Go and listen hip hop which is made today and hip hop which was made in the 90s, man. You see? And when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and the fear shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and the desire shall fail, because man goes to his long home, and the mourner goes about in the street. You see? So we were witnessing something happening over there, man. So let's go. This is a book. Let's see. Let's see. Let me see. Let me see if there is something. This is going to King Solomon, man. The traffic of King Solomon. You see, the traffic is of King Solomon, man. So this is Isaiah 23:9. Is the Lord Yahweh of hosts have purposed it to stain the pride of all glory, man. You see, that's what is happening right now, man. The glory of Esau is being stained, man, by just a single coronavirus, man, to bring into contempt all the honorable of the earth. Pass through the land as the leaf of dot of Tarshish. There is no more strength. That's what is happening, man. Quantitative easing ain't working. Anything ain't working. Embargoes ain't working. Trade wars ain't working, man. Stimulus, man. And now they have went all the way to give people money, man. He stretched out his hand over the sea. He shook the kingdom. The Lord has given a commandment against the merchant city to destroy the stronghold thereof. See? Against the merchant city, that is Babylon, man. The city which was built upon trafficking, Silk Road. And he said, thou shall no more rejoice, O thou oppressed virgin daughter of Zidon. Arise, pass over to Chittim. There also shall thou have no rest. See, Chittim. You see? So it is this. Let me go and show you the Silk Road which is started during slavery. See? See, I turned it off. Let me see. Let me see if I went through that. So here we are. This is a Black Day Silk Road. You see, the medieval Silk Road brought a wealth of good spice and a new idea from China and Central Asia to Europe. The trade also like killed the deadly bubonic plague, man. So this reason we are getting rich over this Silk Road after they destroyed the Jek, man. You see, they destroyed the Jek over there in the Byzantine Empire. They conquered the Jek. They established the so-called Silk Road. When the bubonic plague came, that was the end of Jek completely, man. And you see, what is the bubonic plague, man? The plague was spread to human made by flares that were transported by infected rat. Large population tend to follow human because of the garbage they dispose, and this is why the Black Death was found in heavily populated area, particularly along the Silk Road. You see, bubonic plague, Kani Academy. Kani Academy comes from Kahigi Kani, man. The plague named as Black Death by later historian had a devastating effect on the 13th set outbreak also spread west across Central Asia via trade using Silk Road. And this is a Silk Road, man. That was a Silk Road, man. So there is really nothing new under the sun. When the scripture tell you that Babylon got rich through her traffickers, her merchant, that was not talking about Roman Catholicism, man. The Roman Catholicism, they don't control any trade route here on yes, man. They don't own any maritime activity, man. You can Google that. Let's go. USA maritime activity. You see USA maritime. You can see here. Let me see if it can open, man. You see USA maritime administration. You see, have been established in 83, you see, Federal Maritime Commission, you see. Let me see. This is U.S. Maritime is a coalition of American ship operator. You see, going back to this, man. See, this. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, let me see the triangular slave trade, man. Playing game with me. See the triangular slave trade, man. Triangular trade or triangular. See, it will call it the triangular slave trade, man. The U.S. maritime activity was established through this triangular slave trade, man. So the coronavirus is hitting the new Silk Road here. So you brothers, I don't want to make this too long, and the salak for it being too long and a lot of explanation. I want to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Rakakadash, for bringing this plug to hit strategic point on this new Silk Road, man. It's all sawada to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. On to the next, Shalom.